bad for me.
This is the worst Skeletor. It's so great. It's so great.
Hey guys, I'm Layla, and we are back in Raid Shadow Legends with my buddy, Deadwood. What's going on, Deadwood?
I'm great. I'm excited on this one. Skeletor is the one I really have a lot of, I'm excited to do.
Yes, if you guys missed it, Deadwood and I just read the lore story for He-Man. I will have the link down below. Make sure you go check it out. That is part 1. This is part 2 with Skeletor, and he's the free legendary champ that we're getting in Raid with this whole Masters of the Universe collab, which is super exciting, huh? You already said you're excited about this. What are you excited about for Skeletor?
Oh, Skeletor, I mean, to me, you know, growing up kind of watching He-Man, but like Skeletor's just so iconically, he's such a great villain because he has such a sarcastic wit. He's such a jerk to everybody, even his allies. But like you can't, he's very self-aware of how ridiculous his people are. So it was always fun. And he has one of the best voices, most iconic villain voices ever. And I love it. So I'm very excited by him.
And speaking of that, voices and all, guys, Deadwood and I are going to read the story together. You see him giggling already because we have committed to try to reenact Skeletor's voice lines for you. So I hope you guys enjoy this. We've been practicing, but Deadwood and I talked in detail. We felt like we cannot do this lore story justice if we did not at least try to do the voices, okay?
You really had to twist Layla's arm on this one. So I was like, if we're doing Skeletor, I'm doing the voice. It's the only way I'm doing this for you.
Oh my goodness.
Now, and then I had to rope her into doing it too. So you're welcome, everyone.
You're welcome. So with that, we're going to read the lore story for Skeletor.
Skeletor is a monomaniacal schemer, as well as a formidable necromancer and sorcerer. In the fabled land of Eternia, no being strikes terror into the hearts of the people more. He is sharp of tongue, renowned for his maniacal cackle, and is hell-bent on acquiring absolute power and subjugating all to his will. Above all else, he seeks the fabulous secret powers of Castle Grayskull, and to do that, he must wrest the legendary power sword from He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
At Skeletor's command are a menagerie of monstrous minions, all malicious and greedy. Beasts and sorceresses, little man and mutants, all make up his dark forces. This legion of evil is matched by an equally vast arsenal of dark artifacts, prized from the dungeons and hell libraries of the world. Skeletor's most prized weapon is the Havoc Staff, a scepter coursing with evil magic and topped with a grinning ram skull.
Despite his seemingly unstoppable fervor for evil, the mighty Skeletor is a laughingstock, a hapless fool, a punching bag for the great hero children all love, He-Man. In every story told of him, he is soundly defeated and flees the scene, escaping his true punishment with his trademark cackle.
All of Skeletor's wicked artifacts prove useless. His nefarious schemes all fail. His followers are shown to be incompetent time and time again, and he heaps all blame for defeat upon them. Skeletor's impotent rages are the stuff of legend. Often he bewails his incompetent lackeys with an array of colorful insults, calling them pitiful pinheads, metal-munching morons, or tin-tongued dolts, as he experiences the bitter sting of humiliating defeat yet again. Such creative harangues have entered the Talarian lexicon, with people of all kinds jokingly aiming them at friends, family, and colleagues. If Skeletor existed, he would be apoplectic that his savage insults are used as mere jests, and that only makes them using them funnier to Talarians.
Though for the common people they are mere entertainment, the stories of Skeletor and He-Man are seen by the powers that be, especially the Sacred Order, as having a vital moral component. Darkness is depicted as weak and laughable, and sorcery as dangerous and foolish. He-Man's endless chain of victories and Skeletor's ignominious defeats prove the value of hard work, decency, and integrity. While depictions of the undead and the demonic are normally met with fury by the Lumayan church priests and warriors of the order, those of Skeletor are allowed. By permitting him and his defeats to be put on show, the confidence of the masses is in facing the ever-present threat of darkness is buoyed. Nonetheless, Skeletor is so tamed by the stories, he has become loved in his own way. Tellarians delight in his overweening pride and futile quest for power, and love to see his plans collapse around him.
Those few who proclaim that Skeletor and He-Man were once real are dismissed as being in the fringes of society, reveling in childish things. They wonder if the name of Snake Mountain alludes to the Dragon Kid Empire's once occupation of lands now dominated by the undead, attempting to draw some connection between modern lizardmen and necromancy. They've discovered pits full of various bones, indicative of some death-obsessed cultures, but they are scattered all over the world. A handful of Knights Revenant necromancers have even attempted to bring the soul of Skeletor back into the mortal world, fruitlessly sacrificing hundreds of people.
Theories abound, each lambasted as absurd. Some observers point out that, in a way, this is Skeletor's final victory. Though he never defeats He-Man in the stories, he remains elusive enough to forever torment and taunt his greatest enemy, just as his mystery ever confounds its would-be solvers. These observers can't help picturing Skeletor cackling maniacally at the whole enterprise. Oh
my gosh, you guys, I have tears. I'm laughing so hard. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh my gosh, Deadwood, what did you think of the story?
Yeah. I don't know that I was paying attention. I was laughing too much, honestly. I loved it. I mean, I think it's a really good parallel to the He-Man story, right? Like, it's the same thing of like talking about how the world of Valeria kind of incorporates this story of Skeletor as this villain. And I love the fact at the end they're like, but we kind of love him for his ineptitude. It's so great. I'm really happy too that they had some of the insults in there.
Yes.
That he throws out as just like chef's kiss.
I was just thinking that because like we talked about Skeletor beforehand, about some of the things we really liked about him. And yeah, like they even mentioned how he's kind of just like this buffoon. Like he never could be He-Man, and he blames all his lackeys for his failures. And they literally throw
100%.
that into this too, which I thought was great.
No, it was really good. I mean, it's very self-aware of like what this character is. And I really appreciate them incorporating that so smoothly into this story. I love it. I love it. I love the fact that the cackle is so omnipresent in it too. Yes. Like it's such a distinct, like that's what makes him such a great villain in the cartoon, is he has so many distinctive characteristics, whether it's insulting his allies, always blaming somebody else, the cackle itself, the never-ending, effort to get Castle Grayskull. It's so great. And they just did a really good job, I think, of bringing all that in here. I have to say, I really liked the little mini lore dump they did there about the Sacred Order, which I didn't know. The way that they don't like depictions of the undead or the demons, but they're okay with Skeletor because he's such a buffoon in what he does. I thought that was that's a really neat little tidbit that they shared. And kind of makes Skeletor really important in the world of Teleria.
Yeah, they did, and I really like that because, again, to your point, like we already see He-Man, and so he's infiltrated by like being a toy, right? Like that's kind of like his thing. And here, Skeletor, he's still this villain, like you said too, and the Knight Revenant are still looking to like bring him back, and there's tales of whether he exists or not. So I love that they did that too. Like they add that illusion of mystery with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, I'm a big D&D player, and
Yep.
so the idea of world building, I feel, is so important with this stuff, and the concept of, not just their stories, but like this is what kids play with,
Yeah.
and this is what the church has decided is acceptable
Mhm.
or not acceptable, and so these two, probably even more than a lot of the other, like I would say 95% of the heroes in Teleria, these two are more important in the day-to-day life of the people that live it because everybody grows up with this story.
Yeah.
These two become the foundation of the moral philosophy of the world, and it's like, oh, stop being the Skeletor about, what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things that people would probably be saying. And I think that's such a great introduction into this world, and like such a good color to add to the palette of Teleria.
Yeah, I love it. So I really enjoyed this whole Raid X Masters of the Universe collab. I think it's fantastic. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed our Skeletor reading of us doing the voice like this, because I gotta tell you, Deadwood and I really like we were going back and forth trying to keep a straight face.
I don't care if anybody else enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. That was nothing but gold. Nothing but. So
it was mwah. It was wonderful. So guys, I hope you enjoy it. Drop some comments down below on what you think for Skeletor in the game. What do you think of the lore story? Please don't roast us too bad on the voice lines, because we actually enjoyed it. We enjoyed being Skeletor for this one. Again, it felt like, when we talked about it, it's kind of the only way to read his story. You can't pay homage to Skeletor without trying to do the voice. Yeah. It's so iconic. And of course, I love how you added the cackles in, so thank you so much for that. When Deadwood's reading the story at the end, I was like, please end with the cackle, please end with the cackle. And he gave me a couple cackles, not even one. It was perfect. It was absolute perfection.
We try.
We do.
Thanks so much for letting me come on here and do this with you, though. I always enjoy hanging out, but like I like these stories and I like doing this lore stuff with you. It's very fun.
Yes, thank you so much for joining, Deadwood. I really appreciate it. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this story. Thank you so much for joining, and bye, guys.